Okay. Tuesday, April 24, 2018, Town of Monroe Zoning Board of Appeals. Town of Monroe Senior Center, 101 Mine Road, Monroe, New York, 7:30. Roll call.
Seth Bader.
Aye.
Abe Mueller.
Aye.
Jonas Hoffman.
Aye.
Joe Davis is not here. Rob O'Neill is not here. Mike Murphy's not here. And Pete Lewis is.
Aye.
We have a quorum for this evening.
Okay, we rise to pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we had the fire exits, one behind me, the other end on the right, and to the left. Okay, we'll do with number 2. It's 55 Seven Springs Road, Z025-2018, section block and lot 1-1-11.22. This matter was supposed to bring in some revised plans, and they asked to adjourn it to the next month. That wasn't ready for today's meeting, so they asked to adjourn to I would like to make a motion to adjourn this matter for the next month. All in favor?
Second.
Second, okay.
There should be a motion that is,
I made a motion.
you have a second, right.
Aim with a second. All in favor? Set.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, this matter is going to be adjourned for the next month.
And that'll be the continuation of the public hearing, correct?
Continuation of the public hearing, yes. Now, the next matter that's on the agenda is for Chaim Parnas, 1 Raywood Drive, Z026-2018, section block and lot 43-4-3. Nobody's here for this matter, so we'll hold it over for the next month also. Next is Michael Labag, 200 Monroe Avenue, Z027-2018, section block and lot 17-9-27.2.
Hi, how are you?
Your name, please,
My name is Michael Labat,
or address.
125 Upper Road, Middletown, New York.
Okay, let's hear. Can you explain why you're here tonight?
For a variance in the property. I guess it has to do with the fact that it's a private road.
Excuse, take the mic closer to you.
We said the price, I was scared of it.
Just talking to it.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear what you.
And I have hearing aids too, so sometimes I'm not, don't be afraid to speak loud to me.
Okay. Okay, explain to us what we have for tonight.
Okay, I needed a variance for to build a house because it's on a private road. Also, I believe there was the rear yard, I was 3 feet short of that. We had adjusted the front line so that we maintained the 40 feet that's required. Just by relocating the house in the survey. There is all town sewer there. That was all, everything was investigated and checked out and put on the site plan. And I believe that's about it. They had something, I don't know if it was a rear yard and what they call a side yard, because it's a corner lot. The rear yard is kind of funny. The rear yard would probably be called the side yard, but in the eyes of the town, it's the rear yard. because of the corner lot.
So it looks to me like it's a 280A variance for, because you don't abut a public road, right?
Correct.
And it looks to me like, from looking at the March 22, 2018 letter from the building department, that there are 3 area variances. A rear yard, you're 3 feet short. On the rear yard, you have 37 feet,
Yep,
and the code requires 40. Front yard, you're 1 foot short.
we corrected that.
Oh.
That was corrected on the plan that you have, it's been corrected. That was brought to my attention. What it was is the plan that I turned into the building department, it wasn't an actual survey. It was done off a plot plan, and it was a little fuzzy, I guess is the way to say that.
Okay, but you do still need the rear yard, the 37 and the 40?
Yes.
And
Yep.
then lot area, is that still, that's?
Correct, the lot area, it's 90, off the top of my head, I believe, here it is, it's 9377. So it's almost 9,500 square feet.
What's the variance being sought for that?
It looks like, according to the building department's letter, it says that your lot has 9,818 square feet, and the minimum required by code is 15,000 square feet. That's what it looks like. Right. The number that you just gave us, where is that number reflected?
I just happened to notice that number off of this, off the actual survey.
Oh, I see, in the top, in the bulk,
Right
on the
in
top
that,
right?
Yeah,
9377. That's interesting. That's a couple feet here and there is to be expected here and there, but that's about a 400, 500 square foot difference.
the only
Right.
thing like I could say, this was an actual survey, the first one that I don't even know how the building department calculated that out. That wasn't done by me.
I see.
Well, that was his calculations, but with a round corner front lot, I don't, it's beyond me how even these guys figure that out.
Right. But your surveyor has it at 9,377.
Correct.
Okay. So it's those 3 variances that the applicant is before the board on. The 280A variance, the rear yard variance of 3 feet, and the lot area variance of the difference between 15,000 square feet as required and 9,377 as provided.
Slowly.
Sorry.
We have here, the rear, you got this one side yard is 19.9, right? And he needs only 15, right?
Once again, like I said, on the actual map, a lot of it has been cleaned up
Clean
and
up.
corrected.
Okay,
For instance, all of the front yard meets the requirements. The 2 side yards, I now have a 21 and a 15, which I guess when they're compiled, they meet
mm-hmm.
the requirements.
Yep.
I guess
the tricky-
where it is on the one corner there. In other words, that
The tricky part is because it's a corner lot, so
exactly
so
that's the
that's
tricky
the
part.
tricky part.
Right. So what you might look at and think of the rear yard really isn't. The rear yard is
Yeah, you could.
what would be called something else if it wasn't a corner lot.
Yeah, so looking at the survey, right, okay, if you look at the top, the bulk at the top,
Proposed.
yeah, the proposed, so he has your surveyor has an asterisk on the front yard indicating that a variance is required, but it doesn't look like one is required because you're over by a half.
Yeah, we're over by a half a foot.
So that's wrong, but the one underneath that is the rear yard, so that's provided 37.2 feet, but the requirement is 40 feet.
Correct.
So that's one,
But it's tricky
Doesn't
because you see.
depict the
but I don't
Is it-
see it.
And once
This
again,
is
this is a little gray area too, but it's measured off of the corner to the back line. Now, if you
Yeah.
measured in the straight line, I actually have 42 feet.
42.
Right.
And
So-
if you go here,
so that
it gets
It's
smaller.
just a question of how everybody measures
Yeah.
in reality. If you measured the way I would measure, it
Because
would be
it's,
42 feet. But I guess according to the way,
I see, I understand.
that's a little bizarre, but
You don't have too much space to play around more than that.
The other thing, it doesn't have the asterisk next to the lot area depicting that variance needed either.
Correct.
But there is one needed, right? That's what
Yes, there is.
Why? It's
So, yeah, so your application looks like it conforms with just the survey that you put in. They're dated the same day, it's April 3rd, and the application is requesting the 280A, right, the private
Yes.
road.
Yes,
It's requesting the lot area, and
yes,
it's requesting the rear yard.
correct.
So the application conforms to the survey, and in that regard, it would be complete. Have you submitted you submitted the deed to the property?
Yes,
Yeah, so the application, I think, would be considered complete on these submissions.
just, how far are you from the closest public road?
it's probably about 150 feet either way you travel. If you went Crossman, it's about 150 feet, and if you went down Monroe Avenue, it's 150 feet to interlock or inner chalk, however you pronounce that. Land between the lakes.
Yeah,
The spelling on his,
Yeah.
plan.
what?
The spelling on the plan.
Yes?
This is supposed to be Crossman, not Grossman. the
Yeah, it's
surveyor
Crossman,
did
not
type.
Grossman. He hit the wrong button.
We didn't know until after he was in the office.
Okay, so that has to be corrected.
Yeah,
But we
I
would
just-
like to see like a tax map. This is very unclear. Exactly how far you are from the.
Yeah, there should be a tax map in on the application. There was one in all the pages.
Oh, okay, yes, I got it now. Okay, I have it.
Okay. And it was circled in the.
You read? Okay.
Correct.
That still doesn't give you. What's a public road? Doesn't have Lakeview Avenue is a public road.
On the tax map,
Yeah,
what's the name of the road that comes out by the old Bucci's restaurant or Lakeside?
Mhm.
Uh,
What's that?
Bucci. I
Oh,
believe
Comes
so.
right out the
I'm
lakeside.
almost positive. Quaker Hill, Crossman comes out to Quaker Hill, which is, actually, it's just because of the way it was on the tax map.
Mhm.
But it's 150 feet this way to Quaker Hill, and it's 150 feet that way to Interlock, or Interchalk. I'm not sure how that's pronounced.
Which is the nearest, I think what the board would like to know is where exactly is the nearest town road or public road? Town.
I would
county
have to
road.
say, they're both equal distance from this corner lot, but I would say Interlock is per se a little bit closer than, but they're both probably about 150 feet, at the most 170 feet from this lot. Where I have my proposed driveway, I would say that Interlock would be closer, and it's a downhill run.
So I think what would be helpful to the board, I think in the past on 280A variances, would be to see a larger vicinity map, if you could submit one, and then that way you can show the board, all right, well, these are the private roadways, and this is where they connect up with the public roadway,
Okay.
and then be prepared to talk about what is the status of Monroe.
Condition of the
The
road.
condition of the
Okay.
roadway, and what improvements, if
And I
any, you intend to
would
make.
say Monroe Avenue is the closest way out. Also, that's where the town's public sewer is on that road. Two of the past Monroe fire chiefs had lived on that road, Bill Brown and
On which, on Monroe?
on Monroe Avenue. So as far as accessibility, there's zero problem there. Like I say, both were firemen forever.
It's a fully, in other words, Monroe Avenue is fully
Right,
improved.
Monroe Avenue is
Fully
fully,
improved.
totally used every day, day in, day out. It has manholes in it. It has 3 manhole covers for the sewer main that runs through it. So
And same with Crossman?
Crossman doesn't. Crossman is more decital. That's why I say Monroe Avenue is definitely
And that's where the proposed driveway would.
exactly off of Monroe Avenue.
What's
and the 911 address.
So I
would
know
be-
it's labeled as a lot currently. What's the closest physical address that you know to this lot? I assume on Monroe Avenue. You know what the house number is?
Yes, I do.
Just look at
There's 280, and I believe it's 290. 290 is right next door to it.
Okay.
And there's only 3 houses on Monroe Avenue
Okay.
in this quadrant. And 2 of the 3 are on smaller lots than this.
So David, when we're evaluating the scope of the variance, are we?
Pull your mic down a little bit. So we can
You
hear
moved it on me, Joyce. So when we're evaluating the size of the variance requested, are we using the surveys figures, or are we using Ben's figures?
I think the survey, since it's a signed and sealed survey, would be the one that I think you would rely on.
Okay.
You know, you might want to hear from Ben to see if there's a reason for the discrepancy. Was it just based upon a prior document or
It
something?
was a prior document, like I said, I had, and how he acquired that is beyond me. Because unless, I don't know how you can figure out with round terms, but I'm sure there's a way to do it.
Yeah, in either event, I think you can trust what the applicant's saying, because his proposed lot area, per his own surveyor, is actually less than what Ben had suggested it was
Okay.
in his letter. If it was the other way around, I'd say you better darn well
Right.
take a look at it and see what the basis for the discrepancy
And
is.
prior, I had it at 40 feet on that, but somehow, then Ben said when he scaled out my drawing, he said that it was at 39 feet. I said, well, no, it's not a problem to move the front line back to the 40 feet.
How about if you could show this to Ben before, to make sure that he has no problem?
Oh, yeah, well, that's what he had said to me too. He said, had he realized that it wasn't a sealed, he wouldn't have even entertained a permit app thing, but I wasn't,
Okay,
well, you know what, once again,
okay.
it was an error on my behalf. I mean, I didn't realize that I needed a sealed survey map, and I need that for the building permit as well.
Okay, so has he seen this survey yet, Ben, to your
No,
knowledge?
because once again, he would see this all with the building permit application, and there was a bunch of other little things. The house is it's a small house. It's only 28 by 36. It's 1,000 square feet with it's a 1.5 style cape, which is similar to what's in the neighborhood. So the square footage. I mean, I guess he told me though he calculates the basement as square footage, the full attic is as square footage. So that's why he told me there's going to be an additional fee on the permit. That's his way of figuring it. But as far as I'm concerned, the house is a small house. It's a 28 by 36, 1.5 story Cape style or post-war style house. And the basement will be unfinished.
For a 280A variance, the board, they just looked at one just last month and the month prior. The board's going to be interested in just having you come before it when assuming the public hearing gets open or gets set and gets open, in regard to some specifics about what you're proposing is going to be your connection to that public road, what exactly it looks like in that area, and how does it connect up? I know that Monroe and Crossman are both, they both kind of come together in that one spot, and I know you said that Monroe
Right.
is a fully improved road and Crossman may not be,
Right.
but I would
And-
come to, my suggestion would be, for the benefit of the board, is to come to the hearing prepared to talk about exactly what it looks
Okay.
like, and what, if you're proposing any changes, what's your driveway going to look like, how you're going to connect to it, those sorts of things.
Okay, and like I say, on this, the proposed driveway is right there off of Monroe Avenue. There's already a decent area there, like a base for a parking area.
One little helpful hint, if you could bring pictures how it looks like the existing, that would help
okay.
us to
Okay,
determine,
Yep, that'll be no problem.
to show us the condition of
Okay.
the road, to see
Yeah, no, and like I
how
say,
wide the road is Monroe
it's
Avenue.
40 feet, it's a 40-foot wide right-of-way.
On Monroe
like I said-
Avenue? is
On
the
Monroe
width?
Avenue, 40 feet. There's like I say, there's sewer in it. Last year, we all got together and did the road millings.
Oh, okay.
And did road millings on it. It always does need a little TLC. The neighbors, we all kind of get together and every once in a while go over it and go through
Do you
it.
have a road agreement done between the neighbors?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those blind agreements.
Oh, okay.
But it all works. Nobody's unhappy. Everybody's happy there.
You said there's 2 other homes on Monroe Avenue?
There's 3 homes total on Monroe Avenue. 2 of them are on smaller lots, on 8,000 square foot lots.
Are they on the same side of the street as this lot? Or-
One is, and one is across the street. Even the one that's next to it, it's only an 80-foot wide frontage, so the only reason it has larger because it goes actually back across to the road behind it. There's no other houses. I didn't know if you had been out there or not. When you go out there, you'll see the lot is kind of desolate. It was actually seemed as if it was used as like a dumping ground. I've hence cleaned it all up and as much as I can without a permit. But all the garbage is gone. All the debris is gone.
Okay.
It seemed as if people dumped, just landed trees and yada yada, but it's all cleaned up.
Okay. That's about it. I think
Okay.
the pictures will show us, give
Yes,
us a good
yeah.
idea, and remember a bigger map to show us the road, more specific.
Okay.
On
Yeah, it's
the-
just that it was funny on that
on
section block
yes,
lot. It
okay.
happens to be that.
If
that
you
was the
have
quadrant. I
somewhere
believe the other
some
side is.
some different kind of map that could
Okay.
show us
Yep.
more accurate
Okay,
all
that's not a
the
problem.
streets around.
Yep. And like I say, it's 150 feet each way, but the most traveled and the best conditioned road is Monroe Avenue,
Okay.
and
I can get it on the government.
it is a 40-foot wide right of way.
I can pull it up on Orange County government if you want to look at it right now. I could bring the laptop over there.
No, if he's gonna come back anyhow, let him be
Okay.
on the paper, and
No problem.
we'll discuss it. If at that time it won't work, then we'll look at it.
Okay.
It's rather when I have it on the paper.
And I'll just bring some regular pictures.
The regular
which
pictures would be very helpful.
will show it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So are
Okay.
we going to make a public hearing next month for him?
Yes.
Okay.
So my next step is to get back with Noreen.
Yes. Go over whatever you need to bring. She'll tell you what you need. You need to do the mailings and public to publicize.
Okay.
She'll
Stop
explain
in
it
the
to you.
office on, what's today, Tuesday? Stop by on Thursday and I'll have everything for you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
If you have a chance to show Bill your survey, that would be also helpful, I think.
Okay.
If you
Yeah,
have
I have extras in the office. I'll take
He,
one to his
he knew
office
that
tomorrow.
what I had presented to him,
okay.
it basically was my own off of the,
Yes.
the
Okay.
county map. I mean,
Yes.
the
Okay.
architect,
No problem.
but it wasn't a certified engineer. That
Okay.
was his issue.
Okay. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you at the end of the week. Thursday or Friday is fine.
Okay.
Next is Robert and Yolanda Nelson, Hilltop Road, Z2, Z028-2018, section block and lot 24-1-56.2. You state your name, please. Move it
Robert,
over. That's right.
Robert Nelson,
Okay, your address?
4 Yale Drive in Highland Mills.
Okay. So explain to us tonight the reason you're here.
Trying to get a 280A variance for home I'm building on a 2.6 acre lot. The front of the lot, well, the lot is sloped, well, not sloped, but shaped kind of weird, where the front of the lot is only 70 feet across, but as you go in approximately 206 feet, it opens up. On one side, 200 feet, on the other side, another 120 feet. But we need think we supposed to have another additional 80 feet across the front, I think they were saying for the variance, or for the road frontage.
Right, so it looks like the plans are for, there's an indication in the application that the variances sought are obviously for a 280A variance, and minimum lot width, 150 feet is required.
Right.
But because of that, the way the lot is configured, it's almost like what we call a flag lot,
Flag
even though
lot.
it's not really a flag.
Right.
It's sort of
Right.
something else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got that 70 feet of width in that area, wherever you would measure the 70 from.
Right.
And you're planning on putting the house back in the much thicker spot, obviously not in the area
Right.
of 70 feet.
Right. Once you go back about 206 feet, and then off of that, another 55 feet back would be the house.
So it appeared to me in looking at the application that there's some real history to this application in that, am I seeing it right that there was already a 280A variance granted back in 2013?
Yes.
And actually, maybe one in 2010 originally, or no, I know there was something that was granted in 2010.
The one that was granted back then, the guy decided he was going to build a house, and from my understanding from the real estate lady who I spoke to, he decided not, after he got the variance or whatever, he decided not to buy. He, from what they told me, he hit the lotto and decided just to leave.
Okay.
So,
So in other words, he got the variance in November 2013 and then just never followed through with it, never built. So the variance that was granted expired
right,
within, I think, by its terms, a year or 2 years,
right,
right? So that's why you're here, is to basically renew the identical 280A variance that was granted? Is that what I'm gathering? Just to
Yes.
renew it?
yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you know, it didn't look to me like that prior application included a variance for lot width, and it was puzzling to me because I don't see that the lot has changed, right? The lot didn't change since then.
No, the lot is exactly the same. I think just trying, because we don't have the right width on the front part. I think
Right.
that's just the reason why I think I was denied for, the permit to build.
Right,
But the lot is still the same.
okay. Right, so for the board, to the extent that anybody's looked at them, what I'm referring to in the application, there was a November 21, 2013 resolution of the zoning board on an application for a 280A variance for this lot. And it was granted on, it was not for the lot width. For some reason, lot width wasn't brought up. Maybe somebody didn't pick it up, or maybe the code changed in between or something, I'm
I
not sure.
think they're saying that the code changed recently with all the activity that
regard
was
to the
going
width.
on.
So, in 2013, it was granted on 4 conditions, and then subsequent to that, I'm sorry, and one of the conditions, the first condition was that the applicant must obtain a certificate of occupancy within 1 year of all conditions being met, and in any event, within 2 years of the date of this approval. So that would have expired in November 2015. There was also some subsequent correspondence from the then attorney for the zoning board. Looks like somebody had asked the zoning board, the zoning board had asked the attorney to give an opinion as to whether 2 of these conditions had been satisfied, and the attorney gave a letter dated August 2014 confirming that he thought that they did. I didn't, be honest, I haven't dug into the underlying basis for that, so I don't know if that's something that's in play or that I agree with or not, but I assume so. So, as far as I can tell for the board would want to take a look at the 280A issues fresh, make sure that there's no change in circumstances, or if there is, try to figure out what it is in regard to what the connection that the applicant is seeking between the cul-de-sac on Spinnaker Court and the lot that he's seeking to build on, and that's the issue that will be before the board, and whether it views this lot width in the front as an issue or not, and to look at and apply the usual area variance standards to that part of the application.
The first thing, what's the condition after the cul-de-sac of the road in order to connect it?
There's like gravel there that's coming across from Hilltop.
Like
And
what's on this map, on the blue map?
yes, you actually have three of them. They all
Yes.
pretty much are the same, but you can see, I think the last one, you can see Hilltop on the right-hand side.
So Hilltop is a
Is-
regular road.
Right, that's the end of the, that's also like the end of the street. The same as Spinnaker, like, I guess at one point, all that was supposed to meet.
Yes, and it was never
And
finished.
Right, but they never finished the road, but they put, it's gravel there now. I mean, it's weeds, but it's, you can see clearly that it was a gravel road there.
So Spinnaker Court ends, Hilltop is an improved road, it ends.
It's
They
And
both end just
right in-
literally,
yeah, this one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what you're, it looks like on the plans that you've given to the board,
uh-huh,
there's a gravel travel way
right,
that's shown from the end of Spinnaker Court up through and leading over to that other part of Hilltop Road, and it looks like also leading onto the property that says that it's lands of the town of Monroe,
yes,
with the water tower is?
yes,
So, and you're looking to now connect, not on that gravel through the town's property, you're looking to connect where, from Hilltop over to the beginning of your
I'm-
property, or from Spinnaker over to
I'm
the?
looking to connect from Spinnaker, straight across to the property, across the gravel road.
Okay. So I think what the board is gonna probably wanna hear is gonna be a lot of detail about what you're proposing to be that connection. What's the width, what's the improvements that you're, the nitty gritty of what is it gonna look like to get from the end of Spinnaker to your property, because that's, in a 280A variance, that's what the board is charged with the responsibility of doing, and making sure there's good and safe and passable access for emergency vehicles. That's one of the many things that they're gonna be considering, so that's something that you should be prepared to kind of bring before the board. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself and speaking
No,
for the
yes.
board, but.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
you're explaining it very good.
Okay.
How wide you're proposing? Because a fire truck has to be able to get into your house. God forbid there's an emergency in your house. The
Right.
fire truck should be able to drive in there, and it should be wide enough that the truck should be able to get in and out. So you have to show us how much you're gonna improve the road. How is it gonna look? The road gonna look like after it's done. You understand what we're explaining?
Yes, but I don't understand how wide do you actually want it? I mean, I can make it probably as wide as it need to be. I mean,
Uh,
I don't know how wide do you want it to actually make it work?
What's that?
what do we need?
Yeah, I mean,
spec on that?
it's an understandable question, right? The problem is the board's in a position where it can't really give you the advice of, okay, come here with that
Right.
with us. Usually it's the applicant saying, okay, I've got an engineer. The engineer says for safe access, we need X number of feet wide, and this is how we're going to build the road bed. It's going to be with these specifications so that it's going to withstand the weight of a truck, or it's going to, whatever it may be, whatever those specifications may be.
Right.
The applicant would have an engineer come to the board and say, this is what I'm proposing, and the board may then go and give those specifications and the width and so on to the fire department and say, take a look at this. Is this, does this pass muster from an access standpoint, from an engineering standpoint? Is this just a gravel roadway? Is that enough? Are you proposing something else? Are you proposing to build up the road bed? Are you proposing drainage?
Drainage.
On that area? Is it gonna be is it gonna be a problem?
I was doing a blacktop driveway straight across from the house all the way back to Spinnaker. That was my thinking.
Okay.
not gravel, blacktop.
Okay, and you should show it how wide you're gonna do it, and we should be able to determine on that.
The engineer will give you
Yeah.
all the specs and will tell you
Okay.
what's required.
Okay.
Right. That's, yeah, if you have an engineer, you should go to him or her. And if you don't, you probably would be well advised to consult with somebody that can help you with those specifications in terms of what's going to be passable and safe,
Right.
so that the board can be satisfied for the safety of whoever's going to be living there, whoever's going to be occupying there, and that the road will continue to be passable beyond some short period of time.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay. Is there any other area variance on this? No.
It's just the lot width. The area variance would be the lot width, and that's an existing condition that the applicant can't
Can't help.
control. It's a
Yeah.
matter of just applying those factors, the usual
Okay.
town law 267B factors.
Okay, you'll contact the secretary, she'll give you all the information what you need to go on, because you have to come back to a public hearing. Yeah, we're gonna do a public hearing on this.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll contact the secretary,
Yes.
and she'll tell you all the information that you're gonna need for this,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
So
The
we're
next
gonna,
meeting is May 22nd. Or come in and see me before the end of the week and I'll have everything for you,
Okay. Thank you.
okay? Either you or Yolanda is fine. I
Okay.
don't know when she's coming home from the tram. All right, you're welcome, have a good night. Can you
Okay.
take one of these and pass it down to the board members, please? Before I forget and get yelled at for not handing them out.
Oh, boy.
I have nothing to do with it, I was told
This
to
is
hand
from
it out.
last year?
No, it's for December this year.
Okay.
I
have no
just do what
problem.
I'm told. Bring it to the meeting and pass it out.
okay. Okay, do you have the minutes for November?
Does everybody still have them from last week or not? I have extra copies. Pass them on down. It's only the one. I'm still playing a little catch up with Word docs and me. Should have all of them by next meeting.
Seth? Any comments, Seth?
I can't read as fast as you.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. It's going back a long way.
I know, it's last year's. We've had it since January, we just never approved it.
Okay. Coming back on the record, would like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the November 28, 2017 meeting.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's approved. I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.